What's going on, guys? God bless you. Carlos here with Serranos Mobile Detail in Dallas, Texas. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Today's video, guys, is gonna be hopefully not too long. It's a video dedicated for those detailers who are struggling a little bit and maybe working through the winter, right? The cold months are upon us here in Dallas. Today, literally, it was like 30 degrees in the morning. But we're going to start having those cold days, right? So a lot of detailers, this is where they kind of post on their pages. Thank you so much for your support. We will see you next year, right? When it's nice and warm, right? But for those detailers that work through the cold months like I do, and maybe this is your first year in business, maybe it's your second year in business, but you're still struggling a little bit through the cold months, right? Today's video, I hope this kind of helps you guys understand a little bit on how I do things. I'm going to be giving you guys some tips, some pointers. Maybe this kind of helps you. And definitely in the comments, post maybe what has helped your business. If you have been in this business for a while, maybe definitely I'd love for you to leave some feedback for more detailers to see this. And maybe your input helps them, right? Because what has helped me might not work for them, right? But anyways, let's get started on this. So I remember when I started my business, the first year in business through the cold months, it was pretty rough. I wasn't getting a lot of calls, which is usually normal when you start your business, right? Through the cold months, it gets a little bit difficult. So tip number one is definitely work hard through the summer so that through the winter, you already have some money saved to help you through these cold months, which are literally the most hardest months to work for us, right? So save a little bit of money. If you don't have consistent business in the beginning, definitely start saving from day one and just set it aside for these cold months. Then you don't have to be worrying about like, am I gonna be able to pay my bills and stuff like that, right? So tip number one, save from the get-go. Start saving some money, put it to the side. And these are tips I've learned because when I started, I had no money saved. But I learned as I went, right? Tip number two, to make it through the winter, right? You always want to check the weather, right? And to some, this probably won't make sense, but to me, it does. I always preach about checking the weather because it's going to give you an idea of how to kind of set your appointments for that week, right? And I see this happen many times. And I understand we out here, a lot of us want to go out there and hustle and get all this money. But if the weather is not favorable for you to be working outside, don't do it. Of course, some of you guys may say, that's why I got a shop. But not a lot of people have a shop, right? So this tip really is check the weather. If the weather is going to be like 25 degrees at 8 a.m. and that's what time your first appointment is, guess what? That car it's not going to flow correctly because you're going to start spraying the interiors with your solution or whatever you use, and it's going to start becoming icy or like a slushy, if that makes sense, right? Or if you start washing the exterior, guess what? The exterior is going to start becoming ice because the weather is not favorable. The temperature, right? Don't go out there, risk your health for whatever the case may be, right? Check the temperature. And that's one thing that has helped me in my business, right? I check the temperatures and I give a customer, you know what? Unfortunately, because of the weather, we're going to be below freezing. It looks like my earliest was probably going to be 11. We're here in Dallas, usually around 11 is when a lot of the temperatures go above freezing, right? So you're going to start a little bit later, right? So communication is key when it comes to working your business, communicating with the customers. And trust me, the money is important, but it's even my customers tell me all the time. They're like, hey man, it's okay if tomorrow doesn't work because of the weather. I don't mind rescheduling. my customers, thankfully, are understanding, and they know that because of the weather, they understand that they know they don't want me to be out there, you know, working on their car in the cold. So, have that communication with your customers. And majority of the time, they're very understanding. It's not like they're gonna be like, well, I'm gonna go look for somebody else. Rarely does that happen, right? Another tip I can give you is, and I don't know about you, but about for me and my business, through the cold months, I actually raise my prices only through the cold months. I raise my interior detail prices. I raise my most basic package because, like in the summer, in the spring, customers will all wash their own vehicles, right? But in the winter, you're more like on demand because the customer doesn't want to wash their car. Therefore, you're gonna be getting more phone calls, right? I know for myself, I don't mind working in the cold, but at the same time, charge accordingly. And through the cold months, I just raise my fee just a little bit. Whatever your fee may be, raise it. I honestly feel there's nothing wrong in you raising your fee during the cold months because you become more of a necessity because the customers, the ones that have never used your services, now through the cold months, now they're wanting their car washed. And guess what? They don't want to do it, so they're willing to pay that price for somebody to come and take care of their vehicles, right? So in my business, through the cold months, through the winter, I raise my prices. Once we get back into the spring, those prices are gone. We go right back to normal pricing. And I know to some this might not make sense, but hopefully it does, right? And the last tip that I can give you guys is, for me, I have everything on a planner or on my phone. A lot of the times, my inquiries are through Facebook. So my Facebook business page, right? So what I tend to do is I will go back through my business page on Facebook, and I will kind of see all the customers that I haven't touched base in a good while, right? And then what I'll do is I'll just generate a message to them and just say, hey, good afternoon, God bless you, Carl's here. It's been a while since the last time I've serviced you. Just wanted to kind of give you guys just a heads up. I'll be in your area maybe next week, wanting to see if you guys wanted to get a service done right before the cold months. For those who run sales, right, you can throw a pitch out there and say, hey, right now we're doing a sale to prepare the vehicles for the upcoming cold months, to prepare them from the salts and all that it gets thrown out when we get hit with snow or ice, right? And I have a sale going on right now for $200 just per se, right? And just throw it out there and just tell them what it's going to include: a paint decontamination, a light clay bar, and then you're going to add a sealant or a wax, whatever the case may be, right? And guess what? Sometimes those doors open for you, right? Sometimes it's just, that's what I do every year, is I will go back like about 3 or 4 months back in my agenda, and I will see each customer what I service them, right? And then I'll just throw them that kind of information out there. And guess what? Majority of the time, usually they say yes because it's needed, right? And throwing a sale at them always helps. Who doesn't like sales, right? But like I always say, make a sale that makes sense to you, right? Don't go out there and literally just lowball your company or your business just to get the money, because at that point you're just gonna be killing yourself. A lot of stuff has gone up, inflation has gone up, so some customers will probably be like, oh my god, that's expensive, right? Don't go one-on-one with the customers, right? Just be like, I understand, unfortunately the cost of living has gone up, the cost of materials have gone up, but really you're still getting a great deal. Usually my hand wax special is my hand wax is $300. Right now I have it for $200 for previous customers, right? So you get $100 off, right? And things like that. When you talk to your customers like that, communicate with them, trust me, the customer is just not gonna try to boggle you for every dollar or penny pinch, right? They're gonna be understanding, and they know that you're bringing the quality to their home or to their office or wherever they are, right? So go back in your agenda or your planner or wherever the case may be, where you keep record of what you've serviced and when you've serviced them, and just contact them. Say, hey, I'm just wanted to say hello. It's been a while. I'm gonna be in your area, and wanted to know if you wanted to set an appointment for this upcoming week or next week. We have this sale going on, and just talk to them. And guess what? They're gonna be very open with you. They're gonna say, you know what? Actually, we were actually gonna be needing that. I'm so happy that you contacted us, you called us, or whatever the case may be, right? But go back in your time, in your agenda, see those customers that you've serviced them, and hopefully that opens windows for you to get your business just kind of keep moving. You won't be staying afloat because you will be getting business, but just to keep that momentum, right? Contact those previous customers. Hey, it's been a while. I want to see if you want to do an interior detail. I'm going to be in your area, and lock it in, right? Or if you want to do a maintenance, whatever the case may be, whatever you find that suits best for your business, right? So those are just a couple of tips that I recommend during the cold months to kind of keep your business moving. Also, the last one is very important. Make sure you winterize your equipment. Make sure that if the temperature is going to be below freezing the next day, make sure you unhook all your hoses. Make sure you get all the water out of the hoses, of your air, all of that, because you don't want that to all freeze together, and in the morning when you turn your equipment on, literally it can just go boom, right? So I hope this video kind of helped you guys out. As always, God bless you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next video.